In this video, we're going to explore the paint bucket tool found in Photoshop. Over the last couple of videos, we've been examining different ways to throw down color and paint on our Photoshop documents. Well, in this one, we're going to look at a new one called the paint bucket tool. You can find the paint bucket tool over in your toolbar, so it's way down over here, and unfortunately, it's kind of hidden. It's kind of buried behind the gradient tool. So if I was to left click and hold on the gradient tool, there it is, the paint bucket tool, keyboard shortcut G. Now the paint bucket tool is going to allow us to select the foreground color, and I'll select maybe a lovely shade of red, select my layer, and then when I click on that layer, it floods the entire layer with whatever color we selected. If we pair the paint bucket tool with the selection, so I'll select maybe the center portion of my layer now, and once again change the color to maybe a nice blue, you can see that when I select the paint bucket tool and apply it to the selection, it's only going to flood the selection, which is pretty cool. Okay, this is a great tool for us to very quickly go into our layer and throw down a lot of color quickly. There's one other thing that I just love about the paint bucket tool, and it's kind of like a little hidden gem. Okay, let me deselect this, and I want to trash this red and blue layer and create a new empty one. Here in my layers palette on layer 0, check it out. I have this lovely kind of chipped paint texture. Okay, and what I would like to do is that I want to go in and I want to change all of this part in here to a different color, right? I love this gray, but I want this part of my image, all of this stuff in here, to go away. Okay, I want to change the color. So thus enter the awesomeness of the paint bucket tool. Okay, let's go to my empty layer, and I still have my paint bucket tool active, and up in the toolbar up here, we have a number of parameters, but the one that people miss is this all layers. By default, it's turned off. And when it's turned off, it's just going to flood the entire layer, right? Hit undo. But if all layers is turned on, check it out. Photoshop is going to analyze and it's going to understand the specific color of the pixel you click on. And it's only going to apply the paint bucket tool to other pixels that are connected to your selection, okay? And other like colors. So watch, check it out. If I click right here, look what it does. It only applies the paint bucket tool to similar colors that I selected on, okay? So I can continue selecting over here and slowly grow this region. Now, one thing you want to be mindful of is this tolerance value up at the top of the screen. If this is on a high value like 30, check it out. It's going to flood much more because now it's increasing the range of colors that it's going to flood with this lovely blue. If I was to decrease this number, now we get a little bit more control. But it's only gonna, yeah, see now it's not painting very much, it's not filling very much because it's narrowing the range of colors that it's going to fill. I usually have this anywhere between 10 and 15. That seems to be a good starting point for me. Yeah, there we go. It still gives me a lot of control, okay? And if you need more control, simply zooming in on the image and getting up close and personal with it will allow you to continue working. This is a great addition to the texturing pipeline for us as CG artists because it allows us to very quickly change a lot of colors quickly without having to go in and paint, all this stuff and make masks. It's just going to analyze the native color information on the layer and make some adjustments based off of whatever we click on. So excellent tool. I use this all the time. And if you have this on a separate layer, again, we've created a non-destructive workflow here. We haven't destroyed the original, we've just adding stuff on top. Great workflow enhancement. I love the paint bucket tool, especially when you pair it with this all layers option up here at the top. So that's the paint bucket tool in Photoshop.